Hi, it's your pal Steamed Hams. Join me every week on the Unforgettable Luncheon as we discuss topics in the nerd world like gaming, comics, cartoons, and whatever else may cross my mind. You can find me on the socials as SteamedHams81 on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, and YouTube. You can also find me as the Unforgettable Luncheon on Facebook. And check out Steamed Hams Merchtorium, the link to which will be in the description of this podcast. The Unforgettable Luncheon, nerd comedy at its okayest. When you think of great first-person shooters, what do you think of? Call of Duty? Battlefield? Super 3D Noah's Ark? Just kidding. Nobody thinks of that game. No, you think of Doom. What other classic 90s game can you run around, gorily blast demons from hell, and make your parents worry about you? Why, Doom, of course. Can this podcast run Doom? No, but today we're going to talk about the history of Doom on the Unforgettable Luncheon. Hi, it's your pal Steamed Hams. I hope you're ready for an unforgettable luncheon. That's right, I'm back. What, you thought you were rid of me? Well, honestly, if you want to be rid of me, you could just, literally stop listening to my podcast and you wouldn't have to hear me anymore. But no, I'm here to stay. Before we kick off the fun, I'd like to send a birthday shout-out to my best friend Nina, whose birthday was this past weekend. She's one of the kindest and most caring souls I've ever met. She's a fellow medic and a fellow veteran. We've known each other about 13 years or so. And she hasn't kicked my ass for any of it. Well, yet. Happy birthday, Nina. I hope you enjoyed your day. Now, on with the fun. Doom is the classic 1993 first-person shooter created by id Software. Wait. 1993. Holy crap. Doom is over 30 years old. And I played this in junior high. Excuse me, I have to go crumble to dust and blow away because I'm old as fuck, thank you. Created by the team of John Carmack, John Romero, Tom Hall, Kevin Cloud, Adrian Carmack, no relation, Dave Taylor, and Sandy Peterson, who replaced Hall when he was fired. With sound by Bobby Prince, Doom was the third major independent release after Wolfenstein 3D and Commander Keen, which was a more lighthearted platformer. They wanted to go dark with this one, so now you get to use technology to battle demons from hell, which was inspired by the team's D&D campaigns. Hey, anything inspired by D&D is okay with me. You play a Marine, later named Doom Guy, and even later, the Doom Slayer, who battles demons from hell as they invade Mars and later Earth. Now, this series has a fuck ton of sequels, spin-offs, and add-ons, so we're only going to focus on Doom's 1, 2, Doom 64, and the 2016 reboot and its sequel, 2020's Doom Eternal. Otherwise, we'd be here all fucking day. I discussed Doom 3 previously in my Halloween episode. I'm not scared. You're scared. Go check that one out for my thoughts on Doom 3. Let's start with the OG Doom. Released in 1993, Doom consisted of 3 9-level episodes, the first of which was called Knee Deep in the Dead and distributed as shareware. Now, for the uninitiated, and also you little bastards who are too young to know what shareware was, shareware is a program that's shared by the owner for trial by others at little to no cost, to kind of build up interest. You like it, you pay for it, you get the full version. The idea was to generate enough interest to buy the other available episodes at the time, which were sold separately. Okay, this was id's model for the most part, and it worked, because Doom became one of the best-selling games, having sold over 3.5 million copies by 1999. But enough about sales, you're here for the game. Now, Episode 1, Knee Deep in the Dead, follows an unnamed Marine, again later named Doom Guy, who he will be referred to up until I get to the 2016 Doom, who's sent to a dead-end assignment on Mars after baiting the shit out of a superior for basically giving an unlawful order. Honestly, if you ask your guys to fire at unarmed civilians, you deserve all the ass kickings you get. So, Doom Guy was not really in the wrong. Now, the Union Aerospace Corporation, aka the guys who cause all of the problems in the Doom franchise, operate waste facilities on Mars and allows the military to conduct super secret squirrel teleportation experiments there. With sexy, I mean deadly results. All of a sudden, an alert comes from the facilities on the moon Phobos, while the moon Deimos just disappears faster than a one-night stand. Doom Guy is dispatched with other Marines to secure the base on Phobos. He's told to guard the perimeter, given a pistol, and everybody else runs in to get handily slaughtered. Okay, I have a question here. Why are you the only one guarding the perimeter of a huge facility? Okay, also, why just a pistol? If you're responding to defend a base, you'd want like a rifle or plasma gun or something. I mean, was he that disliked from beating the shit out of his superior? Either way, he runs in to avenge his fallen comrades and, cuts through them like a hot knife through butter. Now, unlike Wolfenstein, the granddaddy of first-person shooters, where you'd find a better weapon that not only used the same ammo, but made the previous one obsolete, which was the style at the time. You found several weapons that used different ammo and all had, their uses. So you had your pistol, you had your fists, when you ran out of ammo entirely. You had a pump shotgun, a double barrel or super shotgun that was available in Doom 2 and going forward from there, a chainsaw, a chain gun, a rocket launcher, a plasma rifle, and the BFG 9000. That's right, they called it the Big Fucking Gun 9000. That thing will lay waste to an entire screen. It was beautiful, chef's kiss when you fire that thing. But surprise, of course, ammo is limited for it, so trade-off. As you run into the facility, you encounter the zombified remains of your former squad mates, along with demons such as imps, pinkies, cyber demons, cacodemons, and so much more. Order today and we'll throw in a spider demon that masterminded the entire invasion. This episode concludes after you whoop a pair of barons of hell who are guarding the teleporter to Deimos. I'm kind of disappointed though. They're barons, but they don't dress fancy. They gotta have class. They're barons. They don't have their top hats and monocles and Dracula capes. They need to be classy. You step through the teleporter and instantly get knocked the fuck out by a bunch of demons. In episode 2, The Shores of Hell, you awaken to find they stole all your shit and you just have a pistol left. You fight through corrupted UAC labs and fight a big-ass cyber demon. You look around, go to an overlook, and you find out that Deimos was teleported and is floating over hell. Because of course it is with this game. You rappel down to hell to battle its forces. Okay, we're going to pause for a second. More questions. How low was this moon floating? I mean, granted it's hell, so why was the moon floating, but still. How long was that rope? And my question is, the moon is a sphere, just like the Earth, okay? You walk around anywhere and you're still going to be standing upright. The sky's still going to be up. So what did he do? Throw a rope up in the air and then climb it upside down? What kind of Looney Tunes physics exists in this game? How? What did he do? Have a bunch of demons chasing him? He painted a tunnel on the side of a wall, hid, and they all ran into it, and then he ran through the painting to the other side of the fucking mountain? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna chill. Suspension of disbelief. Back to fighting demons in hell with a chainsaw. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In Episode 3, Inferno, you battle the forces of hell and defeat a big old spider demon that, again, masterminded the whole invasion. You step through a portal back to Earth, only to find out it's already been invaded. Or you probably just got teleported to Detroit. Dealer's choice at this point. I mean, they don't give you a whole lot of plot exposition in this game. It's just like little title things, like text things between the episodes. And this leads into the fourth episode, Thy Flesh Consumed, which was included in the retail version of the game called The Ultimate Doom, which is also a great Transformers episode. Look it up. It's actually pretty cool. I used to actually have it on like VHS, so it was awesome. Now, this follows Doom Guy's initial assault on the Earth invaders and sets the stage for Doom 2. Now, a bit of trivia here. id Software released the source code for Doom under a non-commercial license in 1997 and released freely under the GNU General Public License in 1999. Because of this, there have been many unconventional ports of Doom outside of, say, game consoles and whatnot, like the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. Okay, you had things like smart thermostats, calculators, lawnmowers, well, more on that one in a minute, and, of course, within Doom itself. Can Doom run Doom? A Doomception, if you will. This is where the long-running meme comes from, can it run Doom? Because people have been finding ways to literally take that source code and run Doom on anything and everything. From, again, calculators to, I'm sure a Tamagotchi could run the thing. Now, back to that lawnmower. This is a real thing I found out. Husqvarna will be releasing a robot lawnmower in April of 2024 that can run and play Doom. Now, that doesn't motivate me to mow my lawn. But the only shitty part is Doom will only be available on it from April 2024 to September 2024. After that, no. It's like, you offer that as a feature to buy the thing. Why not keep it on there? But it might be a licensing issue. I don't know. Who knows these days? Moving on. Doom 2, Hell on Earth, was released in 1994. Unlike its predecessor, it was fully released commercially. There was no shareware to it. Now, there were a few changes to the game, like it was no longer an episodic format. It was just 30 levels, 2 secret levels, so making 32 levels. You get the super shotgun, which is a double barrel shotgun that has a kick to it and uses twice the ammo, but does it do some damage? Hell, they even used previous bosses from the first Doom as level characters now. So you had like the Cyber Demons and the Barons of Hell just wandering around levels. They're going to take a shit ton of ammo to dispatch, but they're there. Makes for a great challenge. This one takes place directly after Thy Flesh Consumed. Okay, Doom Guy has arrived on Earth to battle the forces of hell who have invaded and slaughtered billions. Now, the survivors have a plan to build several spaceships to carry them off planet and get them away from this invasion. Just one problem. Demons have taken over the last remaining spaceport and kind of placed a barrier over it, so guess what? It's up to Doom Guy to unfuck this nonsense. He, of course, walks in, fucks shit up, and walks out. The demons are defeated, the barrier is destroyed, and the last remaining humans can skedaddle while he stays behind to cover their escape. He's now officially the last man on Earth. Oh, the stupid shit I'd probably do with that. But no rest for the violent. He receives an off-world message shortly from the ships telling him they spotted where the demons are coming from. And surprise, there's a big-ass portal in where else? Doom Guy's hometown. Because of course it would be in his hometown. This man cannot have the best luck on the planet. He's got the worst luck. So he does back home and fights for all the demons he can fight. Realizes he can't close it from this side. Small problem. So he hops in, goes to hell, fights more demons, takes on the biggest fucking demon you've ever seen, Baphomet, aka the Icon of Sin. And look up Baphomet, he is a real demon from history type of thing that, well, made up, but still, and he's, of course, called the Icon of Sin, iOS, meaning Apple and iPhone are evil? Well, duh. But that's besides the point. It's like this big old goat-looking motherfucker, too. So, of course, Doom Guy fights him, fires a bunch of rockets into the bastard's exposed brain, and kills him. Because that's what he does best. He kills demons. Hell is destroyed. The portal is closed. And he begins his journey home. Now, does he walk from hell or something? Catch a cab? What? The series makes no... Suspension disbelief. Moving on. As I said, go see the previous episode if you want to hear my thoughts on Doom 3, because I have some. Doom 64 was released in 1997 by Midway for, you guessed it, the Nintendo 64. Midway made a lot of games for the 64, and that's pretty freaking cool. My book is like Midway and Rare made like practically all the N64 games, it seems. I'm not mad because they're pretty cool. Every game, that was made for the 64, the Nintendo 64, had to have 64 in the title somewhere. So you had Doom 64, you had Star Fox 64, you had Superman 64. Let's not talk about Superman 64. They could have made it 69, because that'd be nice. Oh, yeah, sorry. Trying to be adult here. Besides some sprite updates, like the chainsaw having 2 blades and some new sound effects, and a new weapon called the Unmaker, which was like a BFG light that could be upgraded to fire 3 simultaneous lasers. Ooh. Now I gotta play Doom 64. I have it on my Xbox. In this wonderful tale, Earth is headed up to here with the UAC, so they decided they're going to quarantine their facilities off-planet with holy shit amounts of radiation. Of course, years later, a satellite detects something coming from one of those installations, sends a message back to Earth. Oh, good. That's a good sign. A creature with wonderful regenerative powers was masked by all that radiation and has been running around resurrecting all the demons. So Earth decides to send the one guy they know isn't going to get his ass kicked by demons, their mightiest Doom Guy. But guess what? It was a trap. The demons lured him into hell. That was their plan the whole time. Because apparently they have a death wish. They're like, let's bring this guy who kills us all. Let's trap us in here with him. That's smart. Of course, Doom Guy goes in there, and he blows through demons like a Midwesterner blows through pull tabs on a Sunday afternoon. Trust me, if you're from Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, you'll get the joke. He gets his mitts on the Unmaker and obliterates the mother demon, who was that demon that was running around raising the dead. Now, he decides he can't have nice things. He can't have a nice life after all this demon fucking around. So he stays in hell to make sure no other demons decide to fuck around and find out. Because, of course, if they fuck around, they will definitely find out. Now, in 2016, Doom was rebooted. Now, this one, unlike the previous ones, actually has a story that you follow. And it's actually pretty good. The UAC is once again on Mars, fucking around with teleportation. And this time they're also harvesting energy from Hell, which in this version is an alternate dimension populated by demons and other such not so nice things. The energy is refined into Argent energy, which is the main power source for everything on Earth. Now, what happens is one of the scientists makes a deal with the demons and opens a big old portal to hell. They all come in, they start messing with the facility, And Doom Guy, also renamed the Doom Slayer in this version, just happened to have been collected as an artifact earlier, where this big sarcophagus he was laying in. So he gets out of the thing, beats the shit out of a couple imps, gets his armor, and proceeds to, of course, make fast work of everything. Now, what I like about this Doom is its emphasis on more fast-paced action. Was you're not just like unloading ammo into a bad guy until they die. You shoot them, and when you stumble them, they start to kind of like blink. You come up to them, you hit a button, and it does what's called a glory kill. So he gets all these different awesome ways to kill them, punching their head off. He's got a blade that comes out of his armor that he uses as a melee weapon so he can behead them or slice them up, shit like that. It makes the game more fast-paced, and when you do that, you actually can earn life back. Now, the other thing is, when you get that chainsaw, unlike the previous games where you can just run that chainsaw all the long day and just run through everybody, no, you needed fuel for this thing. And the whole idea of the chainsaw was, oh shit, I'm out of ammo. I can't shoot no more. But I got a chainsaw. You cut a bad guy in half, you get lots of ammo. It's awesome. So, Slayer, I'm not going to spoil too much of this game because it actually is pretty cool, and it's something you want to experience for yourself. But the Slayer meets up with Dr. Samuel Hayden, who was a scientist working on the Argent Energy experiments until exposure to it had caused, enough of a brain tumor that he had his consciousness transferred into a robot because the future. And of course, this hell energy coming out is making the staff kind of corrupting them, making them worship the demons that are coming out, and cybernetically enhancing them. Because that's all we need. Yeah. So, of course, lots of crazy shit goes on. The Slayer gets an awesome weapon called the Crucible, which is like basically a giant energy broadsword. And not even a broadsword, pretty much a broadsword or claymore, whatever you want to call it. Yes, I know my swords. Shut up. And he gets betrayed by Hayden, things of that nature, and is yeeted somewhere undisclosed at the end of the game. But again, I'm not giving too much spoilerage, but do go ahead. Do yourself a favor. If you can get this on Game Pass, you can get this really cheap. Pick it up. It's an awesome game. Okay? And it's extra fucking violent. Now, in 2020, a sequel was released called Doom Eternal. Taking place 14 years after the events of the previous game, Earth, of course, has been invaded by Hell, and is now under control of the corrupt UAC and that dickweed Hayden, along with, of course, Hell. The Slayer now has a floating fortress that he can travel to, which is actually cool because between missions, you can wander around this thing. Like, as you unlock stuff, you unlock, like, art from the game, like concept art and shit. You even unlock soundtrack items, not just for that, for, like, Doom Eternal, for Doom, OG Doom, Quake. I think there's even some Commander Keen soundtrack in there. It's really cool. And there's also no way you can die in there too, which is cool because you can like jump off part of it and just be like, oh, I'm back. Yeah. Now you can damage enemies visibly in this one. Like where the previous one you just shot them, it didn't really show any damage until you glory killed them. But some enemies have things like maybe a laser turn on their arm or like jetpacks. And you can destroy these things and take away some of their attacks, which is cool as hell, which means they're down to like, oh, I'm going to claw you like, eh. It's like, and then you just put the shotgun on their face. Good, bad, I'm the guy with the gun. Kablamo, and send them flying. Okay. Once again, I'm not going to spoil too much, but you do get to deal with the Icon of Sin at the end, and he is a lot worse than he was in the previous game. And this whole one, you're trying to stop the invasion by destroying these hell priests. And, of course, you kill one in the beginning, and then the other two are teleported away by who the other main boss of the game is, the Khan Maker, who is like this angelic type of creature that I still don't get. Years after playing the game, I still don't get. Now, there were 2 DLC expansions to this, the Ancient Gods 1 and 2. I have them both. I finished 1. I'm still working on 2, so I'll have to get back to you on it. But it's pretty cool, and it expands further into the story, and it's more like, what the fuck, dude? Seriously? Awesome. Now, a cute fun fact about this game. Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing's New Horizons were slated to be released the same day, which was March 20th, if I remember right, which, holy crap, is coming up to 4 years ago. Now, given that there was a stark contrast in tone, Doom is very dark, gritty, violent, and Animal Crossing is very lighthearted, fun, family-friendly, which, full disclosure, I own both, okay? And I do play Animal Crossings. Fight me. All right? A lot of awesome fan art was made on both ends depicting Slayer and, or Doom Guy, and Isabelle from Animal Crossings as the bestest of friends. One piece of little kind of fan art I would recommend is a song called Doom Crossing Eternal Horizons by the Chalk Eaters. Trust me, you're in for a treat. It's a lot of fun. Now, the game spawned a pair of film adaptations, Doom in 2005, starring Dwayne Johnson and Carl Urban, and a direct-to-video garbage pile known as Doom Annihilation, which I found on Netflix in 2018. Now, the less said about that one, the better. I lasted 15 minutes into that one before turning it off, taking it completely out of my queue, and going into another room to curl up in a ball and cry on the floor for subjecting myself to that. I mean, I've seen softcore Cinemax porn movies that were better, well done. Try to erase this back out of my memory. I had to put it back in there for this. I hope you know I suffered for your entertainment. Now, a game like Doom does not come without controversy. Of course, the usual violence and satanic imagery, panic that parents have, everyone clutching their pearls, politicians going, we really need to protect the public from this, as they're cheating on their wives and shit, and, taking bribes, whatever. So, some countries like the US and Germany actually refuse to sell it to minors. In fact, Germany decided that it could not even be displayed in a place where minors can see it. So it was kind of like one of those behind-the-counter things, like, hey, you got Doom? Back in the day, like old-school Doom. And they'd be like, yeah, you got ID? Hey, you're not a minor? Here you go. So you don't have some kid around, Mom, yeah, I want this. And mom just buys it, finds out it is all sorts of fucked up, and comes back to the store. Why'd you sell my child this kind of stuff? Blibbity blah blah blah. I am not a responsible parent. I expect you to take responsibility. Blibbity blah blah blah. The usual shit. Like I saw GameStop a few times when I worked there. Now, this is one of the games that inspired the creation of the Entertainment Software Ratings Board. The people that put those cool little ratings on the corner of your game that say E for everyone. Ages 10 and up. Teen, mature, which is like the R rating. Now, my question is, does it mean I have to be over 18 and mature in order to play this game? Because we all know from listening to these podcasts, I am not mature. But, it was a good thing. It helps you find the really good games. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, say no more. And, of course, its success inspired imitators, which were referred to as Doom clones for the longest time, which in turn basically gave birth to the first-person shooter genre. So your Battlefields, your Medal of Honors, your Calls of Duties, And some of these games were also well-known, like Hexen, Duke Nukem 3D. Others not so much, like Rise of the Triad. Now, if you thought Doom was violent, check out Res of the Triad. It'll make Doom look like super 3D Noah's Ark. Okay, I used to have Rise of the Triad, and it took for goddamn ever to load up on my computer, but I just found out it's on current-gen consoles, and you best believe I'm going to find it, and I'm going to buy it. Because reasons. Now, Doom was, and still is, an awesome game. From the amazing gameplay, to the earworm soundtrack, to making parents uncomfortable by you playing it. This game has it all. Now, I've been a fan of Doom since the 90s, and I will continue to be one for the rest of my life. I mean, it hasn't corrupted me. Well, entirely. Well, that's it for another Unforgettable Luncheon. I hope a good time was had by all. You can find me on my socials on Twitch, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, but I will always call it Twitter because Elon Musk can't stand that. TikTok, and am I forgetting anything? Oh, Instagram. Instagram I have a lot of presence on. You can find me SteamedHams81. You can also find me on Facebook as The Unforgettable Luncheon. And don't forget to check out my merchandise store, which is Steamed Hams Merchtorium. The link to all of these will be in the description of my podcast. Now, that was a fun episode. I kind of went a little off the rails, but it happens. Okay. But I'm Steamed Hams. Join me next time when the topic will be something nerdy.